Okay, so welcome back, guys. This is the second video in my little webinar coaching series for you about how you can get better at getting her attention and meeting more women. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? So if you missed the first part of the video, check the bio beneath this one, and I'm going to put a link to it in there so you can fully catch up. Today, we're going to be focusing on how you can meet more women in real life. This isn't a full-blown tutorial of what you can say and do. If you are interested in that, there's tons of other videos on my channel that give you a more step-by-step breakdown of how you can say hello to women. But this is really going to be focusing on mindset blocks, so ways you get in the way of yourself from meeting women. So mindset block number one is you get stuck in this perfect scenario block, which is this idea that, unless she's sat by herself on a park bench smiling with a t-shirt that says "I'd like a boyfriend please" on it, that you're not going to say hello to her. And I can understand why this perfect scenario is appealing. The fear of rejection is real, and it can be particularly difficult for guys. Like, if I had to pick one thing that stops guys from fulfilling their potential when it comes to dating, it's like that fear of rejection can really hold you back. And how that can manifest itself is you can end up waiting for a perfect scenario because all these suboptimal scenarios just feel really scary. Like, oh gosh, like she's with a friend, she's working on a laptop, she's got 10,000 followers on Instagram. And suddenly, when you start adding these conditions, like I can't approach her unless she is, you find yourself more and more limited in terms of the amount of women who you can actually interact with. And of course, my goal as being your dating coach is to get you to interact with more women, because the women you're going to be able to build relationships with, that's not going to be just anyone. And I want you to feel confident in yourself that you're able to create these interactions with women, that you don't have to just be chosen by or fall into a relationship, that you can actually select and choose your relationships. So if at the moment you are getting stuck by, you need that perfect scenario, otherwise that fear of rejection is going to kick in. First of all, I want you to remember there's a useful tool here that you can use if you'd like to say hello to a woman, but the interaction it's a non-perfect interaction. She's with a friend, maybe she's got Instagram open on her phone. There's something else that's going on which is taking away from your ability to connect with her. Now, you can actually use this very cleverly as part of your way to say hello. And in doing so, you're going to appear more socially aware, and you're really going to start to get control of the narrative of the situation. So that could be that you say, "Hey, I know that I'm gate crashing," if you see her with a friend, or it could be like, "Hey, I know that you're super focused on your social media right now, but I want you to actually verbalize the elephant in the room." And that will allow her to also understand that you're meeting some of probably what a tick in the box for her, that you're quite socially aware. And remember, this isn't so much about where is the right place to meet women. It's about how can you approach women in a way that's respectful, that gives them agency, that's suitably light-hearted, that's non-threatening, no matter where you are. So we want to get to this point again. This starts with your self-esteem, of really believing that you have value, that you can add, that you're the kind of guy that she would love to meet. Getting into a good mindset that you're going to be adding value to her life, that it's, even if you just have a 10-second conversation, it's going to be a plus up for her, that you're letting go of needing for there to be a perfect scenario, and instead you're going to start to utilize and work with what you've got. So that's one key way that we can start to move past that kind of fear of rejection. The other thing is to remember, when it comes to rejection often teaches us something. It might teach you something about how you're communicating. It might teach you something practical, like there's something you need to improve on in terms of how you relay information about yourself. And remember, I'm saying it that way because I really want you to get past or move away from this idea that if a woman doesn't want the same things or doesn't respond positively to your attention, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It could mean either that something about how you're communicating yourself isn't working at the moment. But remember, that's not you, that's how you're communicating yourself two very different things, and you can definitely work to improve your communication. Or that for whatever her reasons, which we could never know because she's her own individual person, she is just not open to the same kind of dating experiences that you are right now. And that's absolutely fine. You're going to accept that and you're going to move on. So rejection may teach you that even though you had a moment of attraction when you saw her, whether it's on or offline, that for whatever reason, she at this stage in her life is not going to be the woman for you, or it can teach you that there's something to work on in terms of how you present yourself. But it shouldn't well, we're going to hopefully work with you to get to the point where it doesn't inhibit you from interacting with women overall. I've got some good videos on how to do a deeper dive on this subject of rejection. So if you're interested and curious about that, make sure you head over to my channel and take a look at the videos there. The final thing about meeting women in real life that sort of should be a relatively easy fix is considering whether you're presenting yourself as a guy that she could date. So I've mentioned this in one of my recent videos. Really, when you meet a woman, she should quickly synthesize from the information you present her with, well, this could be a guy who maybe in another walk of life that a friend could have introduced me to. Like, this is a guy who I would completely connect with. So part of that is going to be your personal appearance. Like, I hope I'm a relatively non-superficial person, and I genuinely feel awkward bringing this up. It's not my vibe. But you do want to be conscious of fashion and image. It's an uncomfortable truth, but fashion is a language that communicates who we are to our social world. So, if you just if you're a bit unshaven, unwashed, rolled out of bed in sweatpants, and it's not done in an arty cool way, she may not understand easily that you're the kind of guy she could connect with. Likewise, if you are, I hate to say it, wearing those big logo t-shirts or something that makes you look, you look like a student, but you're actually 35. Again, it's not going to work. So women tend to be a bit more fashion conscious than men are. So a relatively simple fix can be just to pull together one nice neutral outfit, doesn't need to cost much money, that will make you, which could be your I'm going out to meet women look. And this could be as simple as a neutral colored t-shirt from like Uniqlo, some well-fitting jeans and some semi-decent shoes. That's all we need to get started. So make sure as well that you feel like you are presenting yourself as that modern, cool guy that she'd like to get to know. So again, personal appearance, personal hygiene. I know this probably sounds very basic to some of you out there, but it is really important. The other thing you could do is to build a bit of trust with her through what you introduce into the conversation. Now, remember, if you met her on a dating app, she would have some information about you, right? She would know like a bit of a bio, kind of what you did, how far away you are from her. If you just meet her during the daytime or at a bar, she doesn't have any of this information. So it can actually be really helpful for you to offer this into the conversation early on to help to build some trust with her. Like, I said this once, I'll say it again, there's really no point flirting with a woman if she doesn't have at least a degree of trust with you. So we've got to get over this first. This is actually especially important if perhaps you have an accent which is different to the country where you are approaching women in. It could be nice for someone to have a bit of backstory there so they can, again, just get up to speed and understand a bit better about who you are. So it could be, I've been in London. I don't know about you, but I've been in London 5 years, but still haven't lost my Spanish accent. A simple phrase like that could be a really elegant way of letting her know, hey, I know this city too. We move in the same world. It's just I happen to have an accent because that's my culture. The other thing you could say, again, is to give some indications or drop in some important pieces of information about your life. Like, oh, it's funny that I saw you because I actually, I've only just started to go back into the office on hybrid working a couple of days a week, and it's just down the road from here. So if you said something like that, it doesn't sound very like sexy and amazing, but at least it imparts some information on her that, that you work in the local area, that this is just, you're going about your everyday life. All of these things will help to build trust with her. Another great thing that will really help you to overcome your fears around approaching women in real life, and also make your interactions a lot better, is you need to start focusing on what her contribution is to the interaction. It can be very tempting with dating advice for men to make it all about, as a man, your performance, right? So it's like, have you said the right thing? Was your body language right? Was your style good? Exactly what I was just saying a couple of minutes ago. Instead, really what makes an interaction is it's two people coming together and interacting. It's not, oh, knocking my laptop around. It's not you going there and performing. So it's really important for you to stay focused on reciprocation from her. And this is also how we stay way clear of things being creepy. We don't want to be creepy. We don't want to freak anyone out. And we're also not going to get you to assume that all women are going to be receptive to you. Remember, we don't know what her life is, what her sexual orientation is. We don't know anything. So we're just going to be really open that this is just about you creating opportunities and figuring out which women are on the same wavelength as you. So checking for reciprocation, basic stuff. Does she smile and hold eye contact with you? Does she show those? When you talk to her, is she still? Is she angled towards you? If she's looking over her shoulder, trying to kind of get out of here, or walks swiftly off in the other direction, or breaks eye contact, or if you say, "My name's Adam, by the way," does she offer you her name back? If she doesn't, just get out of there. Instead of reading that like you've done something wrong, I would just read it that for whatever her reasons, she's just not open to this, and that's totally fine. It's her life, her choice, and let it go. So remember, it's not actually all on you to impress her. It may be on you to make that first move, to initiate, but unless she reciprocates, it's really very hard for you to do anything. So you remember, you are not out there you don't need to win them all. You're not there to seduce and impress every woman you meet. And if you think that's why you're there, that's your ego. That's a whole separate webinar. Instead, it's like, you know what, you're comfortable within yourself. If you see an opportunity and you experience some attraction, you might want to start a conversation. If she's not receptive to that, you do not need to drag a horse to water or convince her of anything. In fact, you're really comfortable within yourself and you're just going to let it go. So again, this is also a way of you kind of like unburdening yourself or feeling too much stress and pressure about that initial interaction, because really this is all about seeing how she relates to you as well. So we're looking for how she relates to you, and looking as well to realize that whilst it's like a dance, that whilst you've got your steps that you need to make, it's not that women don't do anything interactions. They do things, and that she needs to make her steps as well. And if she doesn't, then I would say she probably doesn't meet your standards, and that you only really want to be focusing your limited time, effort, energy, and motivation on women who meet your standards, who are, by being ready to contribute, who are looking for the same things as you. Now, this video has been a lot about mindset around approaching. As I said, if you want to head over to my channel, I give a lot of breakdowns around actually what to say and how to approach, but this is more about looking at those mental blocks and obstacles that can get in your way. If you want even more detailed advice and you'd love to join in on some of my free coaching webinars, head over to hayleyquinn.com/unite. The link is below this video. That's where my newsletter subscribers are at. Obviously, to state the obvious, we are a small company. I do not sell or do anything weird with your information. It's just like, if you'd love more dating advice from me, that's where you get it. Come and join in. And I'll really look forward to seeing you in the next video from this series.